this episode, I want to break down all the other episodes and just give you insight into my thought process on the recordings that I've done and the interviews I've done, and for my show, Martial Insight and Advice. It's a labor of love. I started that to expand on my YouTube channel to utilize it in a better fashion for educational purposes for myself as well as the martial community. In episode 1, I demonstrated 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu flow that I kind of designed, the flow itself, in order to better understand my art. It's been adjusted a couple of times since that first episode, the flow itself. I think it's to a point where it's beneficial for me and my students at this point. The flow, the way it ended up now. That first episode of Martial Insight and Advice, I was learning how to record sound, application to the video, all these things. So if you notice, the first episode was very raw, very sloppily put together. Since that first episode up to episode 9, things have gotten much better. Episode 2, I addressed many of the misconceptions as expressed by Rokas, as well as Joe Rogan and a host of other people, in reference to the effectiveness of Aikido technique and or traditional methods. Ever since this young man in the Jiu-Jitsu community, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, the video circulated, the video that went viral of that young man actually utilizing a technique we call Sankajo in gi competition, where someone grabs his lapel, he flips the gi over the arm and then goes under the arm and twists the guy up. Now everybody believes that Aikido technique or wrist locks are valid and try to use them now. When I've been saying that for years, it's not the tool, it's the mechanic, it's the individual understanding how to utilize the tools. That's it. Episode 3, I interviewed Campagnola Sensei, my 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu instructor, Moonhead of 10th Planet Springfield, Mass, located on 270 Main Street, Agawam, Mass. Again, I was learning in the process. Every episode is a learning process. Since then, I've put covers or introduction slides on the episodes, and I've figured out the music levels now. So Pat's interview was better than the first and second episode. Pat being the third episode, I learned some things. His was better than those, but I've gotten better since Pat's interview as well. Episode 4, an interview with Tim Babiak Sensei out of East Hampton, his Ishinryu Karate Dojo. He gave me some great insight into how to make my videos better, which I took it all in and applied it on the next episode, which was episode 5, an interview with Rondo Sensei. since then. That was a great episode. I got a lot of comments about that episode with Rondo Sensei. People were very impressed with his level of speak. Episode 6, an interview with myself, because I kept getting asked what my view was on the questions that I asked people in the interviews that I've done. So I had to conduct that interview. Production value on that was definitely better than all the rest. The editing, I practiced a lot with that one. Then episode 7 was a convo with Puck. That was a great interview, and it was more like a conversation between friends about the martial sciences. Ben Belial himself is a trained individual who has a unique perspective and has the ability to apply his lessons in real life. Highly impressive. Episode 8 was a convo with Jeremy, owner, operator of Fighting Arts Academy. That was a great episode. I got a lot of good feedback on that one as well. And that's where we are. This episode right now is episode 9. I also created another video series which I'm calling Martial Strategy, the Process, where what I'm going to do is enlist, hopefully I'll get some volunteers for this, martial artists to demonstrate something they would actually use in a self-protection situation, self-defense situation. And then we are going to break it down. We're going to process the information that they just presented, going over a checklist to see if determine the validity and the respect of that particular process and or technique that was presented. So that's my video series in a nutshell. Martial Insight and Advice, we discussed that just now. And then we have Martial Strategy, the Process. Now I'd like to just discuss some things. Every morning I wake up, I watch YouTube, I study YouTube video, whether it be training, podcasts, or whatever's going on. I view this and I take the information in, I process, and it's my way of studying, keeping my mind sharp, and seeing what it is that people are doing out there. And I noticed a lot of videos. I watched a couple of podcasts today, as well as in the past, and I noticed a lot of people who own dojos, who teach karate, teach all these other arts, they speak about application of technique and concept as if it's something totally foreign and or separate of the act of studying and or training in karate. I'm failing to understand what that's all about. People are performing technique without true understanding of the application of that technique and or combination and or process. So what's the purpose in my eyes? I'm failing to understand what the purpose is. So they talk about high-ranking black belts who really don't engage in or process through the application. I don't think any more needs to be said on that subject. What's the purpose? What actually is the purpose? When it comes to my karate, karate being my bread and butter, I have background in a whole host of arts, but I'm here to tell you that the reason I have that is to enhance my karate. What I mean by that is this. Karate, broken down, is made up of 5 things. 20% of karate is judo. 20% of karate is Karate-Jutsu. 20% of karate is tegumi, or Okinawan wrestling / grappling. 20% of karate is striking, punching, thrusting, and kicking. And 20% of karate is kabuto, or ancient weapons. So 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 equals 100% karate. You understand? With that being said, I studied karate. Then I went and did each one of those things individually as 100% art, and then took that 100% art and put it back in its respective spot. And I understand how these things are to be applied in real life, as opposed to just performing moves within the karate curriculum without understanding or ever understanding the application of said technique and or concept. Like most, as they speak about in these videos that I've been watching, I'm failing to understand what the purpose is studying something, but not ever understanding that thing that you supposedly study. In the future for my video series, I plan on doing more. The next one, I really want to expand with the flows that I've written for my jiu-jitsu curriculum. With that being said, what I call my jiu-jitsu curriculum is the Underground Alliance / 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Mind Meld. And I'm going to expand off of that in the next episode of Martial Insight and Advice. I'm going to demonstrate the flows. I look forward to many more episodes, and hopefully you do too. Let's learn together. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the other side.